Hey everyone, this is Desmond of Apricot Law with a detailed analysis of your top local competitor. Being ranked in the top 3 for car accident lawyer in your city is a very good way to get a lot of car accident cases. So in this video, you'll watch me pick apart every little detail of that top ranking site in your city so you can see exactly how they got there. SEO, link metrics, and some conversion factors too. More importantly, you'll see how we would outrank them so you can get those calls and cases. Now, I know that's a bold statement, so at the end of the video, I added a proof segment, which will allow you to see some of our clients that are ranking for car accident lawyer in some major cities. Before we jump into this analysis, you need to understand the two main components of organic ranking, and those are relevance and authority. So this is very important. Please spend the next 3 minutes with me to review this so you can get the most out of the analysis. Here we go. Relevance. Relevance is everything that we do on your site. The term relevance in SEO describes the extent to which the content of a website's page matches the search term used. There's 7 elements that Google uses to determine relevance, and we'll look at all of those in the video. Most phrases that you want to rank for will require a dedicated landing page, but that being said, a properly built landing page will rank for different permutations of that phrase and its synonyms. Authority. Authority ratings like PA, page authority, and DA, domain authority, refer to website strength, and that's rated from 1 to 100. 100 is the strongest. Strength comes from backlinks, and a backlink is a link on another website that points to your website. We think of backlinks like nutrition. It's your website's nutrition. So like diet, good backlinks make your website healthy and strong, and bad backlinks make your website sick and weak, and in some cases penalized. To go a little deeper with links, I added this. This is link qualities. Links have to be diverse, meaning they have to come from many different kinds of websites. Web 2.0, directories, press release, article syndications, guest posts, social media, and PBN, that's private blog networks, which are the strongest. Those links have to be relevant. So relevance is important, and we estimate that about 85% of your links should come from law-related sites to increase that TF score. That's trust flow. Links have to be authoritative and focused. So just like what we're trying to do to your website, which is increase its authority, those links have to come from authoritative websites. That's what it ultimately increases your authority. And they have to be focused. So you don't want those pages linking to you to have tons of outbound links, because that dilutes the nutrition coming from those authority websites. Anchor text ratio is very important. Anchor text is the text that the link is built on, and to avoid over optimization penalties, which is the penguin penalty, exact match anchors must be 4% or below, which means if you have 100 links pointing to your site, you want only 4 of them to be that exact match. The link itself, Miami car accident lawyer, for example, should only be 4 out of those 100 links if you want to rank for that phrase. Then velocity. Velocity is the rate that other sites are linking to you. So you can't have 5 referring domains one week and then the next week 200 referring domains, because that's just unnatural. So link velocity is very important. In summary, websites with sharp on-page elements and solid backlinking profiles rank in the top 3 for anything they want and get the most traffic. And hands down, no exceptions to that rule. This is the good news. 94% of the websites that we see in the legal industry can be easily knocked off the first page, outranked for any phrase in 4 months or less. So let's take a close look at your competition, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, here we are at Google. Here's the phrase Baton Rouge car accident lawyer. Here are the top ads. Even though they're at the top, turns a lot of people off because it's an ad. And studies show that the quality of the traffic you could get with these is not as good as organic, and it's actually pretty expensive. And then this is the top 3 in maps. This is organic. This is super important. And you get up here by making sure you have all your local citations in order and you get some reviews. And there's a couple of other tricks to ranking you up in maps. This top three organically is the winner circle. So let's take a close look at these two sites for relevance and authority. Before I do that, I'm just going to enlarge this. Check this out. This is one of the first times I've ever seen this. Number one and number one. There's two number ones. There's a Google glitch. How do you like that? Live. Here we go. So see this bar here. You probably don't have this unless you have installed this tool, Moz. It gives us the page authority and the domain authority of every site right here in the top 10 on any page of Google. So let's take a quick look at those numbers. And they're authority numbers, and I'll talk about authority in a minute when we analyze the site's backlinks with the actual Moz tool. But I just want to give you a quick overview of what's happening on this homepage with regard to authority. So the number one site is this Get Gordon site, and it's the homepage that's ranking, which is interesting, and I'll tell you why in a second. The page authority is 38 right there, and here's the domain authority, 27. Now, it's really the page authority that ranks the site. In 85, 89% of the time, it's really about the page authority and the relevance of that page. In this case, it looks like, now take notice here, the page title is not optimized for the search term. Baton Rouge car accident lawyers, what we searched. Baton Rouge personal injury attorneys is what was pulled up. Car accident lawyer is the second mention in the title. See, it's further to the right after the pipe right here. So they did sort of optimize the homepage for car accident lawyer, but it's not as sharp as their internal page, which it's car wreck lawyer Baton Rouge. They were careful not to repeat accident. They used a different word in the internal page. And then they do have their car accident page in the URL, so that helped become more relevant. And the page authority is a 30. So the homepage has 34 links, which is a super low number for a homepage. And their internal page has 15 links. Check out the site in the number 3 spot. The homepage, the title is optimized perfectly, Baton Rouge car accident lawyer, optimized perfectly for the phrase, so it's very relevant. And the domain, the page just says Baton Rouge. So I have to look closer at this one to see what's going on, because they have quite a few links, 264 links going to that internal page, and the page authority is at 30. As we come down the page here, we have Thumbtack up there, which it's nice to see Thumbtack up there because it's kind of a crappy site, and the domain authority is very strong, but the page authority of those internal ranking pages is always very low. There's 0 links, and it's a page authority of 1, and it's not really that relevant. And then we have some other Louisiana attorneys popping up in the top 10. We have one that's actually a page authority of 1 popped up in the number 7 spot. So this is interesting. What it's showing me now, just this glance, I can see that this is not such a competitive market. It's not going to be that hard to get up here and outrank some of these sites, even the number 1 site, and I'll show you. So let's take a quick look at that home page with regard to relevance. I like to open this tool. So we already looked at some of this stuff. Here's the domain. There isn't any relevance points at all for the domain. The page title is relevant. They put personal injury attorneys furthest to the left, which means that is that's really what the page is optimized for. But Google's smart enough to know that personal injury attorneys handle car accidents, and then they did put car accident lawyer over there. The meta description, they put car accident right in the meta description, which is a good thing. It can help with click-through, but meta description is no longer a ranking factor, so it doesn't matter. You can actually leave that blank, and Google will pick its own meta description. And if you don't know what the meta description is, I'll show you. It's this text. This is the meta description. So you can tell Google what to put here if you want to put a call to action or an offer or something in there. If not, you leave it blank, and Google will choose choose it for you. Let's go back to that home page. It's taking a second to grab it because I confused it. Their H1 tag is the number 3, is the third element for relevance, is just personal injury attorneys. Some people say you don't have to put the location in there, but I always put the location in the H1 tag because I usually see sites that are in the top 3 do have the location. They chose to put all of their locations in the H2, which is pretty smart. That's a good move. Coming down the page, I'm looking at these links here. I'm rolling over them, and I can see in the lower left where they point to. So one of the reasons this website homepage is ranked in the number 1 spot is because it has a nice page authority. We saw a second ago, 38, and we'll look closely at that in a second. The page title includes the location, Baton Rouge, personal injury attorneys, and car accident lawyer, so that's nice and relevant. The H1, personal injury attorneys, is a little broad. I would put a location in there. And then the H2 tags, you can see here, they put all their locations. How would I make this stronger, or how could I make your website stronger than this one? Well, be a little more aggressive with the location and keywords in the title in H1s and H2s, and then have a little more text on there that's focused on car accident lawyers or car accident cases. So what they did to compensate for the lack of the homepage content was put a link right in the content, in the body of the page, to their car accident page. So let's click on that. And this will take us, I think, to their car accident page, which is ranked number 2. And this is a very slow loading site, so there might be some issues there, because I actually have a very fast internet connection. So let's take a look at their on-page car accidents in the URL. This is a little under-optimized. You can be more aggressive with regard to putting keywords in the URL. This is pretty good, nice. Again, most people don't search car wreck. They probably did this because they wanted to avoid duplicate titles, which is not a bad move. They added the exact phrase in the meta description. And okay, let's look at the actual page. That's the tool that tells us what's going on. Here's the H1 tag that has the locations and car wreck attorney. I would say there's not a lot of content on this page. To outrank this site, you merely have to provide more and better information. That's really what Google is looking for. So you can come along with a page that's 1,000 or 1,200 words, nice bullet points, great H2 tags, good internal links, which they did. I'll talk about that in a second. Results are good to show for credibility and trust, but it's not really going to help Google determine whether or not you're providing the best information. Information is more like frequently asked questions, which here's a tab that just points to the frequently asked questions link. And it's actually pointing to a media center, so that's not super relevant. And here's their testimonials, pointing to their testimonials page. This is going to be helpful. This is important to have links to other car accident related pages on your site. So let's just click on this and see if it works. Nope. You know what it's doing? It's opening up, I didn't realize this. I thought I was going to have a good example for you. It's opening up an iframe. Iframes do not get indexed. So Google is not seeing this as relevant information on the site, so it's not helping this site rank. The better way to do that is actually create another page and link to it, because Google can will crawl through this link, go to that other page, optimized for rear end accidents, and say, oh, here's a website that's providing a lot of information that's easy to get to with these bullet points, and you get relevance points for that. And then, the other elements on the page kind of fall in line with what I just described. So this is, to set it up properly, you would set this up on a new create a new page, which creates that parent-child relationship, which would build the strength to the car accident folder. And that's building a strong silo. So when Google sees you adding a lot of relevant pages to your site and setting them up properly, in other words, putting them in the car accident folder, like you see me highlighting here, that's when Google sees you as the authority. And don't get that mixed up with page authority, which I'm going to talk about now. Let's take a look at the links. So like I said earlier, your website's strength really comes from backlinks. That's your website's nutrition. And this tool gives us a snapshot into what the website is eating, so to speak. So you're only as good as your links. You're only as good as you are what you eat. And this website is getting links from 5 root domains. That means 5 different websites are pointing to this particular page that we're analyzing, for a total of 15 links. And the amount of juice to that page is 30 out of 100, which is pretty good. And some of that nutrition is coming from the homepage too. Now let's take a look at these actual. This is a directory. This is a red flag here. When you see the number start climbing up above 5, it turns orange, and that's a spam score. So this little orange, these stairs here, or this graph, is telling us that this link is not really trusted, even though it's a PA of 23. There's a little warning coming here. So let me explain this quickly. Like I said, the website is only as strong as links, and the link is only as valuable as the page it's coming from. And this is the nutritional value of this link, because it's a nutritional value of that page. It's a 23. That's actually a pretty good link if it wasn't spammy. And let's look at it and see why it's spammy. So you can see it's like a cheap directory with a lot of different links. There's tons of links on this page. So that's why it's considered not that great. However, it is the best link of the page. So when I see something like this, I know right away I could knock this website out of the box very quickly with the link building stuff that we have. That's their best link, and it's spammy. Let's look at this one. Again, it's another like link farm. This is not valuable. Here's their site here, Get Gordon's site. So it's like they paid, I don't know, it looks like a very cheap kind of page that they paid to get this link, and one of those cheap directories. So again, their second best link is not that good. Let's take a quick look at this one. Again, it's like one of those, All right, so I'll stop beating that to death. Let's take a look at their homepage. The homepage probably has better links. I want to show you a good link. So the homepage is actually not as strong as I thought. It's a page authority of 38, which is pretty good. Only 20 different root domains pointing to the site. Now that's a fairly low number for a site to be ranked number 1. Most of the sites that I analyze in some competitive markets have maybe 200 root domains, or 250 even. So this is a pretty low number. It's not going to be hard to smack them out of the box for a total of 34 links. Let's take a peek at what they actually have here. So here's Million Dollar Advocates. We all know what this is. It has a pretty nice score. It's a page authority of 60, so that's pretty good. However, it's really diluted. You can see, not that I'm discouraging getting a link from this page, because it is relevant, but it's not one of those bone-crushing links because it's so diluted. Here's their Martindale. So it's page authority of 40. Again, not a bad link because it's a respected website and it's a good page authority of 40. But it's not a bone-crushing link because there's it's diluted. So think of it like all of these firms are sharing the same bowl of soup, so to speak. And they have a lot of these. What I want to find is a page where it's a nice page authority in the 30s or even in the high 20s, and it's just them on the page. One link leaving that page, like this one. This is good. Page authority of 33. It's from the super lawyers. I don't know why it's blinking at me like that. And it looks like they must have a link on here. So here it is. This is their link. It's only really one link on the page, except for these footer links. And so they're getting all that nutrition. That's page authority of 33. That's probably their best link. And there's ways to get super loyal link. Pay for it, right? I'm going to come down here. I'm going to try to go as fast as I can and try to give you a snapshot of what's happening. This looks like some kind of news station. There's a weather thing up here in Baton Rouge. LSU versus Wisconsin. So it's a news site, and maybe they have an ad someplace, or there's something about them in the news. Fantastic. That's not a good link. Page authority of 33. I don't know how long their link is going to stay on this page, because if it's news, it'll probably roll off there quickly. But that looks good. Here's another news station. I'm guessing because I see the FM. It's playing some music for us when you open the page. Not a bad link. It's a page authority of 26. And I don't see their live link. Maybe it's in one of these sponsored ads. Questionable whether or not that's actually good. Here's those spammy links. Photo thing. See, now as you get down the page here, these get weaker and weaker and weaker. So there's less and less power. So how do we beat this site? Well, it's not going to be that hard because they don't have a lot of strong links. What would be strong links? Kind of what I described before. You have all of your local directories, your Web 2.0, your social media, your paid directories. There's a lot of good paid directories that are valuable for relevance and for authority. And then, of course, the private network sites that are law relevant, and you can be one of maybe 4 or 5 different links on that page that's getting the nutrition, and you just boost up the number of websites linking to you. It's really not rocket science if it's done properly with the proper anchor text ratio. Actually happens pretty quickly. So let me show you some proof. Here we go. So here's the proof segment, and the point of the proof segment is to show you that the strategies that you just learned do actually work in this competitive market. So I'm just going to run through all these quickly. We'll see the term like this up here, and then I'll click on our client in the SERPs and flip down to the bottom, and so you can see our logo in the subfooter. I chose a handful of these. There's only about 15 or so up here. We do have plenty more, but these are significant, and I'll explain the significance and why I chose them when I go through them. And also, keep in mind, we have an amazing offer. So fill out the form on this page to take advantage of our free website audit video. You get a video in about 24 hours. It's a custom video analysis of your website, shot by me, and sent to you for you to watch at your leisure. There's no strings, there's no obligation, it's just free, and it's really, there's no better way to really see what's going on with your internet marketing. So take advantage of that. All right, let's jump in. So first, I just wanted to show you a sample ranking report from one of our clients. This is our New York City client. We built this website from scratch, and he's ranked, these are all number 1 rankings here. Let's see, he's got like 42, 41 number 1 rankings. These are all page 1 rankings. All car accident related, all over New York City, Manhattan, Brooklyn, the Bronx, Staten Island, Queens. And there's 239 page 1 rankings. So this is a monster site. Here, Austin, personal injury lawyer. I chose that because a lot of people want to rank for that in addition to their car accident page. So here's Paul Colley, that's our client. We built this site from scratch. There's a logo at the bottom. Brooklyn car accident lawyer, super competitive. Here's our client right here in the number 1 spot. There's 3 million people in Brooklyn, so that is a very powerful phrase to be number 1 for. Here's Brooklyn truck accident lawyer. I added that because here's an example of him taking up 2 spots. That's number 2 and number 3. His truck accident page and his car accident page are both taking up those spots. For Brooklyn truck accident lawyer. Miami car accident lawyer. This is one of the most competitive phrases in the industry. Here's our client here. Boris Levent. Here's a website we built for him, brand new from scratch. Now this is significant because he's a very young guy. He's a solo practitioner. Here's his pop-up. It's a cool site. And he's outranking all of those huge firms in Miami who are spending an enormous amount of money trying to rank for that phrase. And we got him up there very quickly. Here's our logo at the bottom. Salt Lake City, car accident attorney, Craig Swap. Here his website is at the number 3 spot. Here's our logo. Now I also chose Boise. Now this is significant because it's the same firm, Craig Swap. And I know you've probably heard that, you can't rank for multiple locations. That's totally untrue. In fact, these are different states, and we rank the same website in Salt Lake City, Boise, and Spokane, Washington. Here he is again, number 2, car accident lawyer. Okay. Now, here's Orange County. We even left out the word county, and we still ranked him in the number 2 spot. This is DKB. They're a brand new firm in California, and we were their first SEO company. We built the site from scratch. Here's our link. They're great people. Here, I'll show you their homepage quickly. Nice looking site, good photos, great content, icons. Here's an example of how to rank for a long tail phrase. So Orange County drunk driving accident lawyer. Anytime you put drunk driving in any kind of phrase, it becomes extremely competitive, as you can imagine. And we ranked him for number 2 and 3. So his car accident page ranks because it's relevant for car accident, even though the word car is not in the phrase. And we ranked his DUI accident. So he's taken up 2 spots. Very interesting. And here's just San Francisco car accident lawyer. Here's Jesse Crisp. His internal page ranks for that phrase, I think in the top 4. And here's Lake County car accident lawyer is an example of ranking for a longer tail phrase. And for that, we pushed his homepage up into the number 1 spot. So there's Jesse. So there's just a little bit of proof. Feel free to reach out. If you have a question, call me or send an email. Definitely take advantage of that free website audit video. And I'm looking forward to talking to you. Okay, all the best. Take care.